New employees, you're still in the dating phase. Janice, let's talk about this dating phase for new employees.
Yes, it's called the probationary period. Basically, when you're a probationary employee, you're not fully an employee. Basically, it's considered part of the job application process. So for 1 year, the IRS is trying you on for size, seeing if you're compatible.
That's a good analogy. And not just that, they're still evaluating them. They're evaluating their conduct, their performance. And guess what else they're doing? They're checking your background still.
Yes. If you have any secrets, they're not going to be secret for long, because the Department of Defense actually is the one that's doing these background checks right now, and they're very thorough. Have you ever experienced a background check from the government?
Oh, yes, I have. When I first came on, and I actually have a little small funny story. One of my neighbors who lived across the street from me got a visit, and he was so upset that they came checking on me, talking to him about me. He was really upset about it, but guess what? When you work for the IRS, that's part of it.
Your life is an open book. So they will be asking, and people will be talking.
And don't be surprised if you get a call.
I know, right? Okay, so what's important about this? The important thing for you to know here is that your stuff needs to match up. Whatever you put in that application, whatever you fill out on your form SF-85, your background questionnaire, and any other paperwork, it all needs to match up, because if it doesn't, DOD is going to be asking more questions.
So what you're saying, Janice, if I put on my application that I resigned, but I actually got fired, you better go change that now.
You better go change it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really key.
Yeah.
The important thing is, okay, sometimes we misremember things, or we were scared or whatever, but the important thing is to, on your own, present that information to the agency, and they understand that. They are actually pretty forgiving in that regard, but if they find out about it because the DOD brings it up.
So basically now is the time, if this jogs your memory about something that you may not have been honest about, this is the time to go ahead and change it before you get the call, because the call is coming.
And it's not just whether or not you were fired or terminated or whatever, or resigned. It's why.
Yeah, Janice,
these investigators, these are professional investigators. They're asking all the questions, right? They want to know. And, some of our people, maybe you had an arrest or a conviction before. If you were not completely honest about it, you need to be honest about it.
That's right.
Now, there's some question about whether or not things are sealed, because sometimes maybe people under first offenders, maybe they have some sealed records. If you're not sure that thing has been expunged, you better disclose it and then explain to the agency that it has been expunged. But you don't want to get caught with the agency getting information that you did not give to the agency.
So what about questions when it comes to tax compliance questions or inquiries?
Yeah. If you had a tax compliance issue before you started with the IRS, that cannot be used against you. So that should not be a problem. Although we have had it raised before, normally we can get rid of that, because they're not supposed to use that against you, because it was conduct that occurred when you were not under the auspices and the obligations of an IRS employee. But once you walk through that door and you report taxes that filing season after your return, you're on the hook. So you better understand your obligations.
And go back and look at our video specifically about tax compliance if you have any questions about that.
Absolutely. I think that's it, Tanja.
Sum it up for us, Janice.
Well, you know what dating is like. You're checking the agency out. The agency's checking you out. But you don't want to be the one getting rejected, right? No. So make sure you do a good, honest job of completing all of your application paperwork.
Yeah, we definitely don't want you to experience a bad breakup once you've been here with us. Yeah. So until next time, guys. Bye.